A billionaire CEO takes his twin daughters to a blind date. Then he spots a single dad in the corner booth and does the unthinkable. Carson's family grill buzzed with Friday night noise. Fryers hissed in the back. Country music played low from a dusty speaker over the bar. Neon beer signs glowed above laminated menus. The air smelled like fried chicken, coffee, and ketchup. Evan Hartley stood just inside the door, slightly overdressed for the room. White shirt, sleeves rolled once, navy tie loosened. Dark slacks, polished shoes that didn't belong on sticky tile. On each side, a small hand gripped his fingers. Jessa, on the left, 9 years old, blue cardigan, worn sneakers. Lily on the right, same age, yellow dress, and light-up shoes that flashed red every time she bounced. "Daddy," Lily whispered, "it smells like the fair." Jessa craned her neck toward the bar TV. "Are those the Tigers?" On the screen, a grainy high school game flickered. Orange jerseys blurred through static. Evan nodded once. "Looks like it." The hostess, a college girl with a messy ponytail, brightened when she saw him. "Mr. Hartley, we've got your table all set up. Right this way." She led them past crowded booths. Little kids coloring. A birthday song halfway through the second verse. An older couple sharing a basket of onion rings. At the back, near a framed photo of the town's first fire truck, a special table waited. White cloth, 2 candles, cloth napkins folded like fans, a tiny vase with plastic flowers. It didn't match anything else in the place. Jessa frowned. "Why does our table look like church?" "They wanted to make it nice," Evan said. "Do we have to whisper?" Lily asked. "No," he said. "You don't." He helped them into their chairs. Their legs swung, not quite reaching the floor. "Dr. Kane texted," the hostess said. "She's finishing up at the hospital. Just a few minutes out." "Thank you," Evan replied. His phone buzzed in his shirt pocket. An email from Linda Price, his board chair, popped up. "Just breathe. You're not signing a merger. You're eating chicken." He set the phone down, face up, then face down. Across the room, a server dropped a plate at a corner booth. Evan's eyes drifted over. A man in a faded ball cap and gray hoodie sat with a boy about the twins' age. Worn jeans. Scuffed work boots. The man cut his son's cheeseburger into neat pieces, talking low. "Dad, I can do it," the boy said. "I know," the man answered. "Let me pretend you still need me." The boy snorted. "You always need me." They both laughed. Lily watched them openly. "That dad's funny," she said. "How do you know?" Evan asked. "He's doing math," she said. At dinner, a workbook lay open beside the boy's plate. Crayons lined up on the table edge. He scribbled numbers, tongue between his teeth. Jessa stared too. "They don't have candles," she said. "But they look happier." Evan glanced at their own table. Too clean, too quiet. One empty place set like a spotlight. "What's a blind date again?" Lily asked. "It's when 2 people meet for the first time," he said, "to see if they like each other." "Do you like her?" Jessa asked. "I don't know her yet," he said. Lily tilted her head. "Aunt Molly said you look lonely when you eat with your phone," she said. "Is this to fix that?" He slid the phone farther away. Screen still dark. The restaurant manager, Tyler, stepped out from the little office by the bathrooms. Thin tie, tucked-in shirt. He scanned the room, eyes landing on Evan, then dropping to his own phone. His thumbs moved fast. He glanced up, caught Evan watching, and looked away too quickly. Something about it felt off. Not enough to name. Enough to notice. "Dad, can we get crayons?" Jessa asked. "They have crayons." She nodded toward the corner booth. "You can ask," he said. "Ask who?" "Your server. Or Cody at the bar. They know you." She hesitated, then slid off her chair and walked toward the hostess stand. Lily scooted closer. "Is the doctor like Mom?" she asked. His chest tightened. "No one's like your mom," he said. "Dr. Kane is someone Aunt Linda thinks I should meet." "Because you look lonely," Lily repeated. He didn't answer. Jessa came back with a fistful of crayons and 2 kids' menus. "He said anyone can use them," she said. "Even grown-ups." She spread them out. Lily pushed a menu toward him. "Draw with us." His hand drifted toward his pocket, then stopped. He picked up a blue crayon instead. "What am I drawing?" he asked. "Our truck," Jessa said. The red one, with the dent. His sketch was too straight. The girls' tires were lopsided. They giggled anyway. Lily's gaze kept sliding past him. "Dad," she murmured, "that boy's doing homework." The boy pointed at his paper. "What's 4 times 7?" he asked. 28, the man said. "If you forget, you still pass." The boy grinned and wrote the answer. Evan watched the easy way the man's hand rested on his son's shoulder, the way the boy leaned into it without thinking. He tried to remember the last time he'd helped with math at a restaurant, the last time he'd said anything like, "You still pass." Nothing came. The front door chimed. A cool draft swept through. Dr. Melissa Kane stepped in. Dark coat, hospital badge still clipped to her collar, hair pulled back tight. She spotted the white table, then found his face. She lifted a hand. He started to rise. Lily's fingers dug into his sleeve. "Daddy," she whispered, "can we please sit with them?" She nodded toward the corner booth, toward the man in the ball cap, the boy with the crayons. "Just tonight," Jessa said. "We never sit with other people. We just watch you talk to grown-ups in suits." Noise from the room pressed in. The game. The Friars. A birthday cheer. He knew the safe move. Go to the set table. Shake hands. Be the man the town expected. "They look like they talk to their kid," Lily said. The words hit harder than any board report. He pushed his chair back. The legs scraped on tile. "Stay here," he told the girls. "I'll be right back." He stood, smoothed his shirt. Then, instead of turning toward the waiting doctor and the white table, he walked the other way. Past the bar, past the birthday cake, past Tyler, who watched him go, phone half raised. At the corner booth, the man looked up. Up close, Evan saw lines at the corners of his eyes, oil-stained knuckles, a tired steadiness. "Evening," Evan said. "Evening," the man replied. "I'm Evan," he said. "Those are my girls, over there, Jessa and Lily." The man nodded. "Cole, this is my boy, Max." Max gave a quick wave. Evan cleared his throat. "We were supposed to have a different kind of dinner tonight," he said. "But my girls noticed your table, the math, the fries. They asked if we could sit with you, if that's not too strange." For a moment, no one spoke. From behind, a soft voice called his name. "Mr. Hartley?" He turned. Dr. Kane stood by the white cloth table, one hand on the back of a chair. She took in the scene in one slow sweep. His daughters watching. The corner booth. The man in the hoodie. The empty place set for her. Her eyes met his. Professional, but hurt. At his back, he felt the whole room paying attention. At his side, he heard Jessa's whisper, "Dad, don't make him feel bad." Cole studied his face for a long second. Then he shifted over on the bench. "Plenty of room," he said. "If you don't mind squishing." Evan stood there, between the polished table waiting like a stage, and the sticky booth full of crayons and cold fries, knowing this wasn't just about dinner. For the first time in years, he had to decide which kind of man his daughters were going to see. The kids slid into the corner booth like they'd been doing it their whole lives. Jessa scooted in beside Max. Lily sat on the inside, pressed up against Evan. Cole shifted to make room, his shoulder brushing the sticky wall. "Hope you like fries," Cole said. "We kinda over-ordered." Lily grinned. "We never over-order. Dad orders vegetables." Max made a face. "I'm sorry." Their laughter loosened the air around the table. Evan glanced across the room. The white cloth table sat empty. Dr. Kane was gone. The candles flickered for no one. Near the office door, Tyler spoke urgently into his phone, eyes on Evan's booth. Cole followed his gaze. "She mad?" he asked quietly. "She had a right to be," Evan said. "And you had a right to sit where your girls wanted," Cole replied. "She'll live." Max pushed his workbook toward Jessa. "You like math?" he asked. "Sometimes," she said. "I like drawing better." "Same," he said. "Dad says I gotta know both." Lily poked one of Cole's fries. "Did you make him do homework?" she asked. Cole smiled. "Deal was, if he wanted fries, he had to finish his page," he said. "Man's gotta build his brain and his belly." Max rolled his eyes, but he sat up a little straighter. Evan watched the easy back and forth. No scripts. No careful phrasing. Just a dad and a kid. working it out in real time. His phone buzzed again on the table. Jessa read the screen before he could flip it. "Code yellow," she sounded out. "What's that?" He turned it over. The alert from his PR chief glowed, "Reputation risk. Diner incident going public." He felt his jaw clench. "It's work," he said. "Nothing you need to worry about." "Is it about us?" Lily asked. He didn't answer. On the TV above the bar, the football game cut to a local news teaser. The sound was off, but the graphic was clear enough. A still shot of him standing between the white table and the corner booth. Caption at the bottom, "Billionaire CEO's strange night out." A low murmur rolled through the room. Phones came out. Someone at the bar pointed. Evan's stomach turned. Jessa's hand slipped into his. "Daddy," she whispered, "are we in trouble?" Before he could speak, Cole slid out of the booth. He walked up to the bar, calm as if he were asking for extra ketchup. "Hey, Mike," he said to the bartender. "Mind switching that off? My kid doesn't need to see his face on TV during dinner." The bartender hesitated, looked at Evan, then nodded, and changed the channel back to the game. Cole came back, sat down, and stole one of Max's fries. "There," he said. "Back to normal people programming." Evan stared at him. "You didn't have to do that," he said. "Yeah, I did," Cole said. "He's 9. He doesn't need to watch grown-ups chase blood." Max tapped his pencil on the workbook. "Dad says no news at dinner," he told the twins, "or else we get sad bellies." "What's a sad belly?" Lily asked. "When your stomach feels funny 'cause your head's worried," Max said. "I get that," she said softly. Evan's phone lit again. This time, it was his sister, Molly. He answered. "Where are you?" she asked. "Linda just called me. She says there's some circus at Carson's and you're the head clown." He looked at his daughters, at Max, at Cole. "I'm at dinner," he said. "With the girls. We're fine." "The board is not fine," she said. "They think you're having some kind of episode on camera." He could hear hospital sounds in the background. Beeping monitors. A muffled voice over an intercom. "You need to get out of there quietly," she said. "Use the back door. We'll spin it tomorrow." He felt the old reflex rise. Slip out. Control the story. Apologize later. Jessa's fingers tightened around his. "Daddy, are they mad at you 'cause of us?" she whispered. Evan closed his eyes for a moment. "I'm not sneaking out a back door," he told Molly. "Not with them watching." "Evan, I'm exactly where I need to be," he said. He hung up. Cole had heard enough to guess. He took a slow sip of his soda. "You gonna have a mess waiting for you in the morning?" he asked. "Looks that way," Evan said. Cole nodded once. "Good thing you got witnesses," he said. 3 of them. He tapped the table where the twins and Max sat, shoulders nearly touching. The TV hummed with the game again. Plates clattered in the kitchen. At the bar, someone started a story about the old coach. At the back of the grill, in a sticky corner booth, a man with more money than everyone in the room combined sat with a man in a faded ball cap and 3 kids. His phone buzzed nonstop beside a pile of fries. For the first time that night, he didn't reach for it. He had no idea the man across from him knew his company's darkest day. Or that what Cole said next would change how he saw his own name on every store in town. The door of Carson's closed behind them with a dull thump. Out in the parking lot, the night felt bigger, cooler. The fryer hiss and clatter of plates thinned to a muffled hum through the glass. Overhead, tall lights threw wide yellow circles on the cracked asphalt. Crickets rasped from the field across the 2-lane road. A dog barked once, then gave up. Jessa hopped down the 2 front steps and landed hard enough that her sneakers squeaked. Max followed, trying to match her jump. Lily came behind them, slower, one hand on the railing, the other still clutching a purple crayon. "Don't go past the 2nd row," Evan said. "Stay where I can see you." "We know," Jessa called. "We're not babies." She took off toward the nearest light pole. Max raced her, shoelaces flapping. They chased their own shadows, long and skinny on the pavement. Lily stayed close to Evan's side, her small fingers wrapped around his. She looked up at the dark sky, then at the glow from the restaurant windows. "Do you think we're in trouble?" she asked. "Not with me," he said. Inside, past the glare on the glass, he could see faces turned toward the lot, people still talking, a few phones still raised. The TV over the bar flashed something, then cut back to the game. His own phone buzzed against his chest again. The vibration was sharp now, insistent. He let it buzz. Cole stepped out, letting the door swing shut behind him. He zipped his gray hoodie up another inch and glanced over the cars. "That old red Ford's mine," he said, nodding toward the far side of the lot. Rust ringed the wheel wells. The rear bumper was held on with mismatched bolts. "She's louder than she looks." Max pointed at a newer gray pickup near the front. "That one's his," he told the twins. "He always backs it in. Dad says that means he's stubborn." "It means I like to be able to pull out fast," Evan said. "Same thing," Cole said quietly. A faint smile tugged at his mouth. Then his gaze slid to Evan's truck, to the clean paint, to the Hartley Tools decal on the back window. For a moment, neither man spoke. Jessa jogged back, cheeks flushed. "Dad, can we ride with them?" she asked. "Just around the lot? We'll race trucks." Lily's eyes brightened. "Please? We can see which one's faster, yours or his." The automatic no rose in Evan's throat. Safety, insurance, headlines. But he caught himself, checked the girls' faces, then looked at Cole. "You up for a detour?" he asked. Cole shrugged. "Sure," he said. "As long as you don't mind if my kid points out all the dents in your nice truck." "I do that already," Lily said. Evan nodded once. "All right," he said. "We'll give you a ride home." Cole lifted his brows. "You sure?" he said. "Bet you've got messages breeding in there like rabbits." "They'll survive one night," Evan said. He clicked the key fob. The gray truck's lights blinked. The kids swarmed toward it. Jessa clambered into the back seat, holding the handle with both hands. Max climbed in after her. Lily scrabbled up last, crayon still in her fist. "Seat belts," Evan said. 3 clicks answered him. Cole hesitated beside the open passenger door. "You okay with me up front?" he asked. "Or you want me back there with the peanut gallery?" "Front's fine," Evan said. "They'll just ask you your favorite color 50 times. Cole huffed. "Used to it," he said, and slid in. The engine turned over with a low, steady rumble. The dash clock glowed 8:41 p.m. Headlights swept across the front of Carson's as Evan backed out. In the rearview mirror, he saw Tyler standing near the hostess stand, phone to his ear, eyes locked on the truck until it turned onto Main Street. For a while, they drove in a small, enclosed silence. Main was almost empty now. A few cars at the gas station. The grocery store lot, half dark. The old movie theater marquee blinked weakly, letters missing. Behind them, the kids' voices blurred together. "Your truck smells like French freeze. Uncle Jake taught me how to fix a chain. Our mom used to sit in the middle seat." At a red light, Evan stopped. The only other car at the intersection idled on the cross street, bass thumping softly. "You know they're going to have your head on a platter tomorrow," Cole said, looking straight ahead. "Those bored folks, whoever that alert was from." "I know," Evan said. "You got anyone in that room who'll talk about tonight the way it actually was?" Cole asked. "Not the way a headline looks." "PR team," Evan said. "Legal. Linda. They'll frame it." "Not what I asked," Cole said. The light turned green. Evan eased forward. "No," he said slowly. "I don't." Streetlights flicked on above them as the sky deepened. They passed the high school. The stadium lights were still on, casting a pale glow over empty bleachers. A groundskeeper pushed a trash can along the fence line. "I was close to selling," Evan said after a moment. "Hartley Tools, group out of Chicago. They promised to unlock value, streamline everything, cut what they call dead weight." He could hear the pitch in his head. Strategic consolidation, margin expansion. "And you walk away with a big check and less noise," Cole said. "Start something new, or sit at home and watch the late game." "That was the idea," Evan said. "And the guys working nights?" Cole asked. "The ones up on rails that should have been fixed?" "They get a severance package," Evan said. "And a number to call, and a letter with my name at the bottom." He heard how it sounded. Out here, with Willow Street coming up, it felt thinner than it ever had in a conference room. Cole let that sit a beat. "My mom got one of those letters," he said. "White envelope, Hartley logo top left. Big number on the last page. Not a single line about who my brother was as a person." Evan's hands tightened on the wheel. "I signed that," he said. I know I did, even if I didn't read it all the way. At least you know, Cole said. Some folks in your position forget whose floor their name is stamped on. They turned onto Willow. Houses here were small, weathered, porches tilted. Lawn chairs sat under low branches. A TV flickered in a living room window, washing blue light over a sleeping dog on a rug. Third on the right, Cole said. Brown duplex. Porch leans like it's had a hard life. Evan saw it. Slanted porch, yes. But someone had swept it. Two mismatched pots sat by the steps. A Little League cap hung from a nail near the door. A solar light stuck in a patch of dirt glowed weakly. He pulled to the curb and put the truck in park. In the back seat, Max's head had dropped onto Jessa's shoulder. Her cheek rested lightly on his hair. Lily's chin sagged toward her chest. The crayon was still locked in her hand. Hey, bud, Cole said, turning. We're home. Max blinked awake and looked around, disoriented, then smiled when he saw the porch. Thanks for the ride, he said, rubbing his eyes. Thanks for the math, Jessa added. Lily yawned. Thanks for the fries. Cole opened his door but paused, one foot still inside. You really want me in that boardroom? He asked. Guys like me, we usually get brought in after decisions. For a picture, not a say. Evan met his gaze in the dim cab light. I don't need another picture, he said. I need someone who'll talk to me like you did tonight, in front of them. You sure? Cole said. 'Cause I'm not going to smooth it out for you. Or for them. I'm sure, Evan said. If you tell them what you told me and I ignore it, that's on me. But they should hear it. Cole studied him for a long moment. In the back, Max shifted. Sleepy. All right, Cole said finally. I'll come. You call me in the morning. Tell me when and where. He stepped out, opened the rear door, and unbuckled Max. Say goodnight, he said. Night, Max mumbled. Night, Jessa. Night, Lily. They chorused it back, voices thick with sleep. Cole set Max on the porch, then turned back to the truck. One more thing, he said. Tomorrow, if you stand up in front of those people and lie, even a little, guys like my brother will hear it, even if they're not in the room. They always do. Evan held his eyes. I won't lie, he said. Then we'll see what happens, Cole replied. He walked up the short path. The porch boards creaked. He unlocked the door and held it for his son. Warm, yellow light spilled out. For a second, the silhouettes of father and son were framed there together. Then the door closed with a soft click. The truck cab felt suddenly quiet. The dashboard lights glowed soft green. Outside, crickets kept up their steady song. Evan's phone buzzed again. He picked it up this time. From Linda Price, 8:50 y 9 de la tarde. Subject, tomorrow. Board emergency session. 9 o'clock. They've all seen the clip. They're rattled. Come ready to explain yourself. He stared at the words until they blurred. In the rearview mirror, he saw his daughters, heads tipped together, asleep. A faint streak of ketchup still marked Jessa's cheek. A light blue crayon line ran along Lily's wrist like a bracelet. He thought of the white cloth table sitting empty, of Dr. Kane's quiet hurt, of the teaser on the TV, of Cole's porch with its leaning boards and stubborn little solar light. Tomorrow, he would walk into a room where people who hadn't been at Carson's would tell him what his own night meant. Tonight, parked under a buzzing street lamp on Willow, he knew one thing for himself. He could keep being the man who signed papers from a distance, or he could be the man his daughters saw when he chose the sticky booth. He slid the phone face down on the console, put the truck in drive. As he pulled away from Cole's duplex, the small circle of light from that porch shrank in his mirror. In the dark ahead, the outline of the Hartley plant rose against the sky, low and wide. Somewhere inside those walls, men like Cole's brother would clock in again before dawn. Tomorrow, those men wouldn't be in the boardroom. But if Evan did this right, they might still have a voice in it. The alarm on Evan's nightstand flashed 6:07 a.m. when he finally gave up on sleep. He lay there for a moment, staring at the faint outline of the ceiling fan. The house was quiet, too quiet. No soft murmur of his wife in the bathroom, no radio low in the kitchen. Just the tick of the old wall clock down the hall and the faint whoosh of the furnace. He swung his legs over the side of the bed. Cold floorboards under bare feet helped clear the fog in his head. In the mirror over the dresser, he barely recognized the man looking back. Same silver at the temples, same lines around the eyes. Something different in the way his jaw was set. Downstairs, the kitchen smelled faintly of last night's takeout and coffee grounds. He started a fresh pot. The machine gurgled to life. Outside the window, first light slid over the edge of the Hartley plant's low roofline in the distance. His phone lay on the counter where he'd dropped it the night before. A row of unread messages glowed on the lock screen. He thumbed through until he saw the one he needed. Cole Turner. A simple number. No picture, no title. He hesitated only a second. Then hit call. It rang twice. Yeah? The voice was rough with sleep. Cole? It's Evan. A pause. Bed springs creaked on the other end. You're up early, Cole said. Board's at 9, Evan said. I meant what I said. I want you there. Another pause. Then a sigh that sounded like someone sitting up in the dark. You sure? Cole asked. This isn't just nerves talking. I'm sure, Evan said. Linda knows you're coming. I'll have your name at the front desk. She can get you past security. You gonna tell him who I am? Cole asked. I'm going to tell them why you're there, Evan said. Who you are is your part. On the other end, Evan heard the soft thump of feet on a floor, a cupboard door opening, the faint clink of a mug. All right, Cole said. I'll find a clean shirt. Give me the address. Evan recited it, though he knew Cole already knew where the building was. Everyone in town did. The plant and the headquarters were their own kind of skyline. You eat breakfast? Cole asked suddenly. No, Evan said. Eat something, Cole replied. Hard to tell the truth on an empty stomach. The line clicked. Call ended. Evan stared at the phone for a second, then huffed out a breath that was almost a laugh. He poured coffee, toasted some bread he barely tasted, then went upstairs to wake the girls. By 8:15, he was in the mirrored elevator, watching the numbers tick up. His tie was straight, his suit dark and pressed. The world outside the elevator doors looked the same as it always did. Gray carpet, glass walls, the Hartley logo etched into the reception desk. Inside his chest, everything felt shifted. The receptionist's eyes widened when she saw him. Good morning, Mr. Hartley, she said. They're already in the conference room. And my guest? He asked. She nodded toward the waiting area. Cole sat on the edge of a low couch, hands folded. He wore clean jeans, a plain navy button-down, and boots he'd tried to wipe the dust off of. His ball cap was nowhere in sight. His hair, slightly too long, refused to lie flat. He stood when he saw Evan. Figured I'd scare fewer people if I left the hat at home, he said. You look fine, Evan said. You ready? As I'll ever be, Cole said. You? No, Evan said. But we're going in anyway. Linda was already at the head of the long table when they walked into the boardroom. Thin, silver-haired, in a dark blazer, she looked more like a retired teacher than the woman who had stared down more than one investor over a balance sheet. Around the table, men and women in suits murmured, tablets open. On the far wall, a screen waited dark. Conversations dipped when they saw Evan, stopped altogether when they noticed Cole behind him. Morning, Linda said. Thank you for being on time. She nodded once at Cole, the tiniest gesture of welcome. This is Cole Turner, Evan said, taking his seat. He's here at my invitation. A murmur rippled. One board member, a man from Chicago with a too smooth smile, frowned. Is he counsel? The man asked. Union? No, Evan said. He works at the Willow plant. His brother died at our Indiana warehouse 2 years ago. The room went quiet in a different way. Linda tapped a key. The screen blinked to life with a still image. Evan at Carson's, caught between the white cloth table and the corner booth. You've all seen some version of this, she said. Clipped, captioned, taken out of context. Before we decide what it means, you're going to hear what actually happened. The PR chief shifted in his chair. With respect, he began. We need to control the, we'll get to you, Linda said. Her voice was mild. It stopped him anyway. She looked at Evan. Start where it matters, she said. He took a breath, felt the weight of a dozen eyes and a screen, and his own name on the wall. Last night, he said, I went to Carson's for a blind date. A few tight smiles. I was given a special table, he went on. White cloth, candles, away from everyone else. My daughters came with me. They watched me sit there at a table that didn't fit the room. He told them about the corner booth, about the man helping his son with multiplication at dinner, about Lily saying, "They look like they talk to their kid," about walking away from the safe table, about the news teaser on the TV, and Cole asking the bartender to switch it off, about Molly's call, about ignoring the PR alert. He didn't dress it up, he didn't apologize. He just laid it out. "And then," he said, nodding toward Cole, "I found out the man I was sitting with lost his brother in one of our warehouses. A settlement crossed his mother's table with my name on it. I signed it, and didn't know his brother's face." A muscle in the Chicago man's jaw ticked. "This is touching," he said, "but we're here because the market doesn't like uncertainty. Our stock dipped 2% on that clip alone. We can't." Linda raised a hand, "A fraction. We'll talk about numbers," she said. "We always do. But if you think this is just about optics, you weren't paying attention." She turned to Cole. "Mr. Turner," she said, "you didn't have to come, but you did. Tell us what you saw last night. In your words." Cole shifted in his chair. He had no notes, no tablet, just his hands on the table, fingers laced loosely. "I saw a man who could have slipped out the kitchen door," he said. "Didn't? I saw a bunch of grown-ups point cameras at 3 kids eating dinner instead of minding their own plates." He paused. "And I saw the guy whose name is stamped on our hammers sitting in a sticky booth, letting his daughter see him be human instead of being perfect." One of the older board members, a woman who'd started her career on a store floor, watched him carefully. "You also saw a man whose company failed your family," she said. "Yeah," Cole said. "I did. I still do, most days." He swallowed once. "My brother was tired," he said. "Too many hours. Not enough bodies on the floor. Rail should have been fixed and wasn't. Paper said accident. We called it cutting corners." He looked at Evan then. "When my mom opened that envelope with your logo on it, Mr. Hartley," she said, "at least he remembered we exist." I didn't believe her. Last night's the first time I thought maybe she wasn't entirely wrong." The Chicago man spoke again, less smooth now. "This is an unfortunate story," he said. "But we have to ask whether Mr. Hartley is still the right figurehead for this company. Emotional decisions." Evan cut him off, gently. "Selling to your group was the emotional decision," he said. "Walking away so I didn't have to face men like Cole in rooms like this. Last night was the first clear one I've made in a while." He looked around the table. "I brought him here because if you're going to judge me on a 30-second clip, you should have to hear from the people who live with what I sign." For a long moment, no one spoke. The hum of the HVAC filled the edges. Linda tapped another key. Emails appeared on the screen, time-stamped. The PR chief's name at the top of threads with the Chicago group. Subject lines like, "Using instability narrative," and "Leveraging incident for transition." "While some of you were wringing your hands about a bad headline," she said, "others were actively trying to turn it into a coup, without board authorization." The PR chief's face flushed. "This is taken completely out of context," Linda said. "You want context? A single dad with every reason to hate this brand sat in front of that building this morning and still agreed to walk in with our CEO. That's context." The vote, when it finally came, was not unanimous. But it was clear enough. Motion to remove Evan failed. Motion to terminate the PR chief and halt all sale negotiations passed by a narrow margin. By the time Evan stepped out of the conference room, his shirt stuck to his back. His tie felt too tight. Cole leaned against the wall across from the elevators, arms crossed, expression unreadable. "Well," Cole said, "you didn't lie." "No," Evan said. "Didn't feel like I had the room for it." Cole's mouth twitched. "You just bought yourself a whole lot of work," he said. "The real kind." "I figured," Evan said. They rode the elevator down together. In the lobby, an older maintenance man in a Hartley uniform nodded as they passed. "Morning, Mr. Hartley," he said. "Heard about the meeting." Evan stopped. "You did?" he asked. "News travels," the man said. "Some of us are glad you didn't sell us up the river." Evan glanced at Cole. The look that passed between them wasn't dramatic, just shared understanding. That evening, the house did not feel as empty. Jessa and Lily sprawled on the living room rug, working on a puzzle. Max sat cross-legged beside them, fitting pieces into the edges. Cole sat on the couch, a mug of coffee in his hands, watching the kids argue over a corner piece. You were wrong, Max said suddenly. About what? Cole asked. About rich people hammers, Max said. He's okay. Cole chuckled. We'll see, he said. Takes more than one night and one meeting. In the doorway, Evan leaned against the frame, tie off, sleeves rolled, shoes somewhere by the door. He watched his daughters laugh with a boy who used to be just a name in a file. He thought of the plant, the warehouses, the workers whose faces he'd started to learn, the safety reports he'd stayed late to read himself instead of letting someone summarize. He knew he wouldn't fix everything. Not in a month, not in a year, maybe not in his lifetime. But he also knew this. A man who turned his back on that sticky booth, and the man sitting there with his son, would never earn the right to sign his name on another hammer. The kids cheered when the last puzzle piece snapped into place. The picture was of a red barn under a bright sky. Too perfect for any real farm. Perfect enough for tonight. Evan walked in and sat on the floor beside them. Jessa leaned into his shoulder. Lily used his knee as a pillow. Max started talking about a school project on simple machines. Cole sipped his coffee and let the sound of their voices fill the room. Outside, the world kept scrolling and judging and arguing. Inside, in a living room in a small Ohio town, a man with money and a man with calloused hands tried, in their own ways, to do one quiet thing right. Not for a headline, for the kids who were watching. If this story reminded you that simple decency still matters, that good fathers come in all pay grades, and that telling the truth is still worth something, we'd be honored to have you stick around. If that speaks to you, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss the next story. And if there was a moment in this tale that hit close to home, a choice a parent made, a second chance given, a wrong finally faced, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. Subscribe to join a community that still believes character counts and small acts of courage can change more than just one life. Because the world has enough noise. Let's keep the good stories going, one heart at a time.